pretty much use whatever controller you want. And again, plugging things in just makes them, they connect immediately. Hello friends, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another video talking about the Steam Deck. I made a video at the beginning of this year. I got my Steam Deck for Christmas and I wanted to talk about how my first impressions have been as like a non-PC user. I wanted it specifically because I didn't have access to a PC. I'm a Mac girl. I've always had Apple products and I have other consoles, but there are loads of games on Steam that I just can't access because they're only on PC. So that's the reason that I wanted the Steam Deck. Quite a few people had questions. Some people wanted to know why I chose the Steam Deck over another similar product. And a lot of people were asking me about the usability of this coming from a console background. So I thought I would answer those questions. I'm really making this video for people like me who were looking for another way to play games casually. I'm not making this for people who are really into the spec and, you know, what all the things that you can do with it. This is very, very basic for people who are just, they're coming from a Switch and want to know how easy it is to use this. What is the simplicity of this that would make them feel comfortable when they're not used to having to install or mess around with like anything. They just want to like plug and play. What can you do with the Steam Deck? Well, first of all, you're going to want this. This is the equivalent of like the dock for the Switch. You're going to want this 100% because this is going to make it so that you can pretty much use this as a PC. You can also dock this to charge in the same way that you will the Switch. You can also dock this to play it on your TV. You can then use it with an array of different controllers. I use mine with my Switch controller, but in recent weeks, I have been using it with a mouse and keyboard and it has been an absolute game changer. Initially, I was trying to control it with like a Bluetooth mouse and keyboard. It was very hit and miss as to whether or not it would connect. And it was really, really annoying. I don't know why. One day, I kind of thought, well, this kind of reminds me of the dock that I've got for my actual work computer. Like I just plug my laptop in and everything ignites, like it connects to everything. I thought, I wonder if it works the same way. Maybe I was stupid for not knowing. But again, we're talking to people on my level here. I didn't know. I just plugged in the mouse and keyboard that I bought from Amazon for £12 to here and it worked immediately. So the same mouse and keyboard that I work with all the time, I just plugged it into here. No Bluetooth. It's an instant, like there's no, will it connect? Will it lose connection? Because it's just wired. Let's plug this in now and I'm going to show you how I played The Sims on my computer with this. Think of my computer as a screen, just any screen. It could be the TV screen. You don't have to have a specific monitor. You just need to have, you know, distance between, you need to be close enough to the screen to use a wired mouse and keyboard. You can of course use a Bluetooth one. Just in my experience, it's been a little bit hit and miss. I'm telling you, this is like the simplest with the cheapest mouse and keyboard. Still plug into the Steam Deck docking station and in through the dock to any screen or TV, and this is how it works. First thing I want to talk about is the user-friendly nature of this console, because a big question that I got quite a few times on that video was, how does this compare to, say, the Switch and the eStore? Is it user-friendly? Do I have to install things? Am I going to have to, like, Google, blah, blah? No, not at all. Plug and play. This is how it looks. So this is the home page. This is showing the things that I have either downloaded or played, and I've shown an interest in. Based on this stuff, it's also giving me, like, what's new, recommendations, yada, yada. There are things that you can do, but you can ignore them. If you're not feeling it, just plug and play. This is going to be exactly like a Switch. Menu, I can go to the store. So this is their equivalent of the eStore. It's going to show you, first off, all the games that are great on deck, which are basically like pre-approved. Someone's checked these out. These work really well with obviously a controller because it works literally on the deck. So all of these games have either been made with the deck in mind, or they have been modified so that you can use them with a controller. So if that's what you're looking for, stick to these and you'll be absolutely fine. But there are loads of games that work perfectly fine. They just haven't been like approved as great on deck. So you can go to the store home, you can search for whatever game you want, you can download anything at all. It's just that they aren't approved by Steam as these work really well. So then I'm going to go to my library where you'll be able to see again all games 16, installed currently 12, and then we've got 7R great on deck. But I can tell you some of the games in my all games section work perfectly. When you actually go into the game, so let's, for example, Bloomtown, fantastic game, you can go here to the controller setting and it shows you your current button layout. This, don't be put off because it seems a bit overwhelming, and I get it, because when I first came into this I was like, I didn't really want to have to do this, but it's not as scary as it seems for those of us who have come from just like a plug and play background. So this is the recommended use. There are also templates that you can follow if you want to use different kinds of controllers, and then there are community layouts. There's nothing here, but there will be people that have shared their layouts on different forums, and you can find, what is that noise? Someone is very loud outside my window. You can find out other ways people have like modified their controllers and their layouts to make it maybe a little bit more user friendly for them, and maybe that'll work for you. So especially with all of the games that are not included in the Great on Deck, it is a really good idea if you are trying to play a game and it's just not working really well for you to have a look online and see if anyone's got any recommendations. But it's not essential. You don't have to do that, and you can just stick to the ones that are like pre-approved and they will work perfectly. So one that is not pre-approved but does work perfectly is The Sims. I would not recommend playing this with a controller. I downloaded The Sims 4, free by the way, downloaded The Sims 4, not my favourite with a controller. I just do not understand how anyone's playing it that way. But when you plug in a cheap mouse and keyboard, it's exactly the same experience that I had playing this game when I was a kid. This is honestly, this makes this worth every penny. This is not currently available on any console or on Mac, so I would not have been able to go down this nostalgic trip down memory lane without the Steam Deck. It works exactly the way that you remember it. Incredible. Let me just open up a game so that you can actually see. No thank you, I've played this 3,000 times. Here we go. You can click on things. Everything is exactly as you remember it. Down to Betty, blurred out in the bathroom. We're going to get out of this game though. Had to get rid of me to get out of the game. We're going to get out of the game and I'm going to show you something else on a controller. This is the Pro controller from the Switch that I'm using. I'm going to plug it in because I've got no battery on this. But I think you could pretty much use whatever controller you want. And again, plugging things in just makes them, they connect immediately. We don't need to be messing around with the Bluetooth. Honestly, I feel like I've turned into my parents, but I have no time for new technology. I just want things to work and I want to experience things from my childhood unchanged. The reason that I wanted to open this game was really to speak directly to the people who said it was basically pointless to have the LCD version of the Steam Deck when the OLED exists and is just like so much better. Because if you are going from an original Switch to this is insane. You might not feel this way if you're going from a PlayStation or anything with any decent amount of like graphics capabilities. But if you're going from a Switch, I was playing this game handheld on Christmas Day. I could have cried. I literally said to my husband, who has no interest in video games, I was like, just look at the solar flare behind this dinosaur. Like, this is incredible. On the Switch, you would have seen like 3 trees and then just a blur of green in the background. This is amazing. And I completely appreciate that. I'm sure the OLED is just tops. But graphics has never been my number one thing. You know, I'm a child of the 90s. We did not get graphics. We had insane pixelated stuff and I still enjoy that. So graphics are not like it for me. And like, I was never even that bothered about HD televisions. But the graphics difference between the handheld original Switch and the original Steam Deck is already such an improvement. I just can't see the benefit of going straight in to the OLED. Anyway, this is, as you can see, super smooth. You can zoom in and out. I have played this on other consoles. It plays just as well. And again, plug and play. It works. Of course, the real benefit of the Steam Deck is being able to get into these games like Fields of Mystery that are early access. Like, this is only on Steam. You can't play this. You won't be able to play this in its full form for a while. And in the meantime, you can help these developers out by buying the early access versions of the game, and you can get a taste of the games that everyone in the community is talking about without having to shell out for a full-on gaming PC. I personally feel like that's the biggest boost for me, because I do have access to other consoles. I also have access to the Switch, which is my handheld. So for me, this was about access to games that I didn't have access to. Man alive, access could be the drinking game for that particular paragraph, but that was my driving force for wanting the Steam Deck. Being able to find another word for access those games. That said, things like playing the Jurassic World game as a handheld game with that kind of visual has been absolutely amazing as well. So hopefully that has answered some questions that you might have had about the Steam Deck. For those of you who were just looking at it as another console, you weren't thinking, can I install this? Can I do that? There are loads of things that you can do. And down the line, I hope to get into that. I'm just not there at the moment. I'm just still using it as a console. I'm still using it as, in the way that I've always used any kind of gaming equipment. I'm not looking to add anything to it. I'm not someone who downloads mods or does anything like that. I just want plug and play. I want it to just work, and I want to be able to play the games I want to play. I want them to work the way I want them to work. It's not rocket science, quite literally, and this isn't. So if that has been putting you off, don't let it. It's incredible. I also think getting something secondhand LCD is absolutely fine. I've been really, really happy with what I've got, and I think you'll be happy with whatever variation of the Steam Deck you get as well. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed this. I hope it's been useful, and I will see you guys next time.